Hey, you over there.
Yeah, this is so weird.
I feel like you should have the steering wheel.
And it feels wrong.
Welcome back to Don's Life.
Welcome to the channel.
This was our first time ever visiting Europe. 7 countries, 3 full weeks, and an incredible anniversary adventure.
It was. So we saw castles and cathedrals and definitely some questionable driving skills.
Is that directed at me?
Maybe.
I think it might be. From Germany's Autobahn to Italy's chaos and the narrow streets of Amsterdam, we learned a lot about cars, culture, and how far you can walk before needing a gelato.
Not far in our case. And since we filmed everything, we thought we'd share it with you guys. The sights, the laughs, and what we learned along the way.
So grab your passport, or maybe just a coffee or a latte, and join us for our first ever European experience.
Let's go.
So our European adventure begins leaving Canada, landing in Frankfurt, and it didn't take long for us to realize that we were not in Canada anymore.
Nope. Yeah, so the first clue was there's no jet bridge. They just rolled the stairs up and opened the doors, said good luck.
We're like, oh, it's one of those flights.
So it was a little chaotic. They just herded us onto a bus. Then we took a sightseeing tour of the airport before they dropped us off.
Yeah, 10 minutes in, we already had our first Autobahn experience in a shuttle bus on the tarmac. And then came the real mission, finding Mrs. DONSLIFE, Starbucks.
It was morning for us. I needed a coffee.
Once we finally cleared customs and got out of the airport, we mapped it out and we had to decide, do we take a taxi or an Uber, or do we just walk? Because the time was going to be about the same.
Yeah, so after sitting for a day, I had no interest in sitting and waiting for an Uber, so we decided to walk to the hotel, and it was fast.
With all our bags.
Yeah, oh yeah, that was the
us.
bad part.
You wonder who are these type of people that walk with their suitcases around a city? That's us.
Yeah, up a hill.
Yeah, it seemed like a good idea until my shoulders reminded me that we packed like we were moving there permanently, but the caffeine did give us a bit of an itch.
So then we checked into the hotel, did a quick refresh, brushed our teeth, and we're back out exploring.
Now Uber picked us up at the hotel, took us to where we wanted to go, and this was my first 30-second taste of the Autobahn, which checked a bucket list moment off for me. First off, Romerberg Square. It's the exact picture of what you imagine Europe to be in your head. Cobblestones, cafes, and architecture.
And people everywhere. It was a Saturday, it was beautiful out, and they had something happening on every corner. Everywhere we went, it was just full of people and so lively, it was amazing.
A lot of action.
Yeah.
Now disclaimer, this channel has an automotive component to it, so of course I spotted my first exotic, a Ferrari.
Of course you did.
It was like my brain was now tuned with a supercar radar for the rest of the trip. But also, I was secretly counting full-size trucks. Spoiler alert, there's not many.
Then we saw this really cool cathedral, so we had to check that out, and we were actually allowed to climb to the top.
328 steps, spiral staircase, no elevator, no brakes.
Halfway up, I questioned everything I'd eaten that day.
Including the Starbucks?
Including the Starbucks.
We didn't see any bathrooms on the way up, but the view at the top, truly worth it. You get a nice 360-degree view of Frankfurt. It really was a teaser for the rest of this European vacation.
We just kept walking the rest of the day. We did the Eisner Steg Bridge, we walked around the river, and there was random festivities everywhere that we could check out.
Everywhere.
Everywhere.
And somehow we still had the energy to check out the main tower observation deck after dinner.
That elevator shot straight up, but the view was incredible.
Between that and the cathedral climb, we basically did leg day twice.
Yeah.
Then we called an Uber, headed back to the hotel. Yes, on the Autobahn. Even though I wasn't driving, it's an experience that I take pleasure in participating in.
And that wrapped up our first day in Europe. Jet-lagged, caffeinated, and about 20,000 steps in.
Day 1, success and lesson learned. And I'll put lessons at the end of every segment. So this lesson was, when your wife says walk it off, she means walk it off.
I do.
So after a solid first day of exploring Frankfurt and honestly some sore feet, we grabbed a coffee and wanted to squeeze in one more adventure before heading off to the airport to take off to Italy.
Because apparently jet lag and a packed itinerary is the best combination, at least for us.
So stepping outside the hotel, we looked up and we saw the sky covered in plane trails. Frankfurt might just be one of the busiest skies in the world.
Yeah, it was crazy. No matter what direction you looked, there was white streaks everywhere in a chaotic but kind of beautiful way, I guess.
With half a day left, and I'm gonna butcher the pronunciation here, but we decided to hit up the Palmengarten. This is basically Frankfurt's version of a botanical escape.
It was peaceful and quiet, surprisingly not a lot of tourists. It was exactly what we needed before we headed to the airport.
So after that, and somehow we still had time to fill, we checked out the Opera House, but I was still secretly scanning parking lots for car spotting. And what do you know? I found one, a beautiful Porsche. My kind of meditation.
You literally become a kid in a candy store when you see a sports car.
True. So before heading back to the hotel, we went to Romerburg Square one more time, and it looked completely different from before. It went from tourists and musicians to people donning masks and starting some gentle protests. It's just kind of weird to stumble upon something like that in the middle of your vacation.
And of course, you're filming Ferraris, and I'm trying to just film the crowds and the crazy police presence that was there.
Yeah, with more people comes more police.
Yeah.
It's probably about balance, and that's what marriage is all about. After that, it was time to grab the bags and head back to the airport, which en route, something amazing happened.
I don't remember anything amazing.
Ladies and gentlemen, we saw our first full-size SUV, domestic SUV, a Yukon Denali.
Yes, we did.
The flight itself was really uneventful. It was a nighttime flight, a short hop over to Milan.
Although we did hit another tarmac bus situation and we were already running late to pick up our rental, which we barely made it for.
We got the rental in time, but it was close.
It was very close. And even if you pick up your rental at 2 minutes to midnight, you're charged for a full day, FYI.
They don't mess around with charging the cycles on rental days. And as for the rental car, you're probably waiting for me to tell you that we rented a sporty Audi or BMW, but no, we did the exact opposite. We got the cheapest, most compact car that we could find in a manual because I didn't want the liability if I crashed it.
And our luggage barely fit.
All joking aside, I did my research and small cars driving around Italy is the way to go. So meet our mighty Citroen C3. And if this was my 16-year-old self speaking, this car was gutless.
It was. You actually did so good driving in Milan. He only got one honk, maybe a middle finger. Driving to our hotel.
In all fairness, the GPS told me to turn at a place where no turn exists, and I inadvertently almost cut off a bike that was tailgating behind me.
Which bikes in Italy, you are just getting surrounded by bikes. Welcome to Italy.
Still, no scratches, no tickets up till this point, and I got to play stick shift assassin in traffic. I'd call it a win. So lesson number 2, when in doubt, go small, and GPS is not always your friend. So day 3, our wedding anniversary, and what a better way to celebrate than driving through downtown Milan, looking at every parking space like it's a dare.
Nothing more romantic than parallel parking between two Vespas.
Right away, Milan felt a lot different than Frankfurt. Narrow streets, tiny cars, and parking skills that made you feel like you were in the Olympics.
They park on sidewalks or partially on sidewalks, and that's perfectly normal and
It's encouraged.
encouraged.
A little different than Frankfurt, there was a lot of construction going on in downtown Milan. It was like every other corner there was something being renovated. It added to the chaos, but also the charm.
We started the day at Parco Sempione, and then we walked through the gardens around the old castle, and then made our way to the Arch of Peace.
It's a beautiful spot. You can see locals actually using it, running around, picnicking, walking their dogs. It's got some real life energy. Now, before we went to one of our booked tours, we had to check out one of Milan's very special and unique pieces of art, the middle finger in front of the stock exchange.
It's called LOVE, which is ironic considering the gesture.
You've never done that to me.
Not in front of your face.
The artist who created it actually says it's not meant to insult anyone, but it's up to you to decide what it means. So lesson number 3, Italian art doesn't whisper, it yells at you in marble.
Everything is marble.
And then the Duomo. You can't visit Milan without being impressed by this building.
No, it is absolutely breathtaking. It is absolutely massive. Every inch of that place is covered in statues. Over 3,000 of them. Angels, saints, gargoyles, they're all looking down at you.
And each spire is different. It's like Gothic architecture went on an espresso bender in a good way.
Yeah. Our guide was local and he was super knowledgeable. His dreads hung to the floor, but He is somebody you will never forget if you ever meet him.
He told stories about how long it took to finish over 6 centuries. Imagine starting a project and your great-great-great-great-grandkids are still working to finish it.
And then came my big moment, or my big mistake.
Now, she doesn't like to be put on the spot, but the guide asks her in front of everyone,
In a big group of people.
do you know who these 2 naked statues are?
So I just panicked and blurted out Jesus and Mary. I didn't know.
The crowd burst out laughing, and the guide goes, I hope not, that's Adam and Eve. But it did become one of the highlights of the day. I don't like being put on the spot either. I usually freeze up and don't have the correct answers, so I think we can give you a pass.
Thanks.
And I'm sure that's a moment that they'll remember too.
The tour ended on the rooftop and the view was incredible. You could walk along the spires and see the whole city from where we were.
Marble everywhere, blue sky, and peaceful quiet above the chaos. It was a perfect anniversary moment.
We ended the day watching the sunset over the Duomo rooftop. Tired, happy, and amazed we got to spend our anniversary in a place like this.
Aww. Yes, that's one for the memory books. And I still think my answer to the most beautiful thing I saw today is correct.
The view?
You.
I don't know, that view is pretty spectacular.
Lesson number 4, in Milan, beauty is everywhere, but toilets are not. I recommend downloading the Flush app. Tuesday morning, time to leave Milan and head to Rome. But before we left the hotel, we learned something new about Europe. Every building here starts with the floor 0. So in Europe, if you want to go up to the floor that's above ground, that's floor number 1. It makes sense now because I was half awake pressing the wrong button.
I think we rode the elevator twice before we realized we weren't getting anywhere.
Now, we didn't film much of the drive itself, but we did learn more about Italy's photo radar. They call it the Tudor system. Unlike here, instead of snapping your speed at one location, they measure your speed between 2 checkpoints. Basically, you're guilty if the math's too fast. Ask me how I know.
So it's like a speed test and a math test rolled into one.
Exactly, but we made it to Rome without a ticket. At least, I think.
We hope.
Lesson number 5, the tutor is always watching. We got to Rome, we dropped off our car at the hotel, checked in, and thankfully, and we planned it, we were near a metro station.
We knew we wanted to see everything in a short time, so we had to learn how to use that metro fast.
Real fast.
Real fast.
Challenge accepted. Rome's metro system is surprisingly simple. Just a couple main lines and it takes you close to most landmarks. First stop, St. Peter's Basilica in Vatican City. And wow, talk about scale.
It's architecture, crowds. It's like stepping into a painting. I sound like Italian Trump.
You do.
It's massive. The architecture, the square, the crowds, it was like stepping into a painting.
Even if you've seen it in video and photos your whole life, standing there in person is something else. And this was just one day in Rome. We'd be back to see more the next day.
What we loved about the metro is that it is cheap, it's quick, and it takes you to every major site in Rome.
Yeah, I'd agree. Once you figure out which direction you're facing, but we might have taken a few scenic routes by accident a couple of times.
It reminded me of New York subway, just a little different view when you come up.
So later that day, we stopped at the Spanish Steps. And this happened to be everyone else's idea as well.
It was packed, but it was fun. It was great people watching after you've been busy walking all day.
It's like one of those spots that feels like the city's living room. You just sit there, watch, and breathe it all in. After dinner, we pushed ourselves to stay up real late, like party animals. And it was totally worth it. The famous Trevi Fountain at night, with the lights, the sound, the energy, it's unreal. And yes, we threw a coin in, so technically that means we have to go back.
I'm holding you to that. We finally made our way back to our hotel and just crashed.
It was one of those days where you just realize how far you've come, from driving manuals in Milan to navigating metros in Rome. Lesson number 6, in Italy, slow down because the speed cameras know how fast you're going. So we knew this could happen. The day we had the most jam-packed schedule, Rome decided to turn on the rain machine.
It was pouring, but honestly, it gave us an excuse to slow down, go have cappuccino and some pastries, and it was just like we planned it.
Sometimes you just have to let a trip slow you down, but in our case, wash you down. Once the caffeine kicked in, it was back to the metro, soggy umbrellas and all, heading for our walking tour of the Colosseum, Roman Forum, and Palatine Hill.
We picked up our tickets and we met our guide. We joined our group and she led us towards the Forum and gave us some tips and tricks how to manage the rain and the crowds.
Right as we stepped inside,
Torrential downpour, like movie set level torrential downpour.
Yeah, it was the kind when your umbrella gives up and your socks are soaked.
We kept ducking under ancient arches for shelter, and you know you're desperate when 2,000-year-old columns become your new favorite spot.
Eventually the storm eased and everything glistened. Marble, stone, puddles, it looked like a movie set after the special effects team left. Then we climbed up Palatine Hill and more rain. It's like the weather couldn't decide if it wanted to ruin our day or make it more cinematic.
I picked the wrong day to wear my white sneakers, that's for sure.
And finally the big one, the Colosseum. And standing there, all I could think about was one of my favorite movies from the early 2000s.
Oh, here we go.
My name is Maximus Decimus Meridius.
Gladiator, who doesn't love that movie? Even in the on and off rain, it's unreal. You feel tiny in there, like you've just stepped into history's greatest arena.
For most people, that's an all-day tour, but not us. We booked Vatican City and Sistine Chapel for later that afternoon.
Because apparently we like to test the limits of both time and footwear.
Yeah.
We got to the Vatican, stood in line in the drizzle for about 30 minutes, and finally cleared security. Inside, it's a mix of reverence and sponsorship. Even the Pope gets screen time, literally on a giant Samsung billboard.
Then you walk in and it is sensory overload. Paintings, tapestries, and statues everywhere. Every hallway feels like a museum within a museum.
And then the crowd starts building until you're no longer walking, you're being moved. Literally like you joined the world's most polite stampede.
It made sense when we looked outside and saw the sheets of rain again. Everybody was trying to make their way indoors.
But good news, if you didn't know, I'm pretty tall. And that means the ceilings became my new attraction. And trust me, those ceilings are worth it.
We filmed most of the ceilings in there, but apparently you're not allowed to film the Sistine Chapel ceiling.
Yeah, I learned the hard way when the guard yelled at me in perfect English, but he was yelling at everybody. We observed our first miracle. We went outside and the rain had stopped. We used the last bit of daylight to wander into a random church and visit the Pantheon.
The perfect ending, quiet, golden light, and we were finally dry.
So lesson 7, rain can't ruin Rome, it just adds better reflections. Our Rome to Barcelona day started early, but it began with a workout that she didn't sign up for.
Oh yeah, right. The hotel gate wouldn't open, so I thought I could do it with my brute force.
I saw it move a little bit. Nothing like seeing your wife go full CrossFit on a stationary gate.
I could have tried karate.
So lesson 8, not every gate is manual, even when you're determined. Once we got to the Rome Fiumicino airport, something totally unexpected happened. Organization.
Everyone actually waited for their boarding zones to get called. No elbows, no crowding, just manners.
I fly a lot, and this was beautiful. I almost teared up. Seriously, Canada, take notes. This is how it's done. The flight itself was smooth. Quick hop, great views, no drama. So far Europe 1, jet lag 0. Then we stepped into Barcelona's airport. Modern, clean, efficient, boom, giant pig legs hanging at a restaurant.
I didn't see that one coming. I actually had to stop and take pictures.
It was a sight to behold. I couldn't tell if they were decorations or if they were take-home souvenirs.
And then came the hard part, finding the Uber stand.
Yeah, it wasn't easy in that airport. Ordering one was the simplest part. Watching the driver get to you was a headache.
Eventually we found each other and then we headed off to the hotel.
We checked in, we cleaned up, and we decided to head down to the waterfront, which was the ocean, which did mean we'd have a slight walking uphill on the way back.
Yeah, we didn't think that one through.
Along the way, we walked through Old Town, stopped at the Barcelona Cathedral, Gothic, stunning, and surrounded by street performers.
I think every corner in Barcelona came with its own soundtrack.
As we got to the water, the energy just exploded. It was Catalonia days, which meant there was activity everywhere.
And in the middle of that, he noticed a yacht.
Of course I did. It's called the Maria. It's one of the world's most luxurious yachts, valued at over $250 million.
You looked it up right there on the dock, didn't you?
Originally a Russian research vessel, completely rebuilt into a 410-foot mega yacht. It can host over 50 guests, has a cinema, a helipad, and probably better Wi-Fi than our house.
Maybe in our next life.
Yeah, if YouTube goes well.
After that, we just walked the beach, enjoyed the salty air and the sea breeze, and we finally got to see some sun breaking through.
And the best part, our hotel was only a block away from the Sagrada Familia, which even from the outside was unreal.
Still under construction for the last 140 years, we just enjoyed it from the outside and saved the rest till our tour the next day.
I get it though, perfection takes time, and maybe a few cranes.
We ended the day with dinner and a quick walk for gelato, because when you're in Europe, that's the law.
Yeah, European law. So lesson 9, travel days don't have to be boring, especially when they end with gelato and a $250 million yacht. The next morning, Barcelona greeted us with some sunshine. Finally, we went and grabbed coffee and started the uphill walk to Park Güell.
Park Güell is Gaudi's colorful playground. It was originally supposed to be a little neighborhood for the wealthy back in the day. It's full of sculptures and mosaics and stairs, lots of stairs. But you get the most incredible views of Barcelona once you're at the top.
Yeah, it's like Dr. Seuss meets architecture. Every corner looks like a postcard or maybe a hallucination.
After the park, we headed back to the hotel to get ready for our tour at the Sagrada Familia, and that's when Don spotted another supercar.
Technically an SUV. It was a Lamborghini Urus, but it still counts.
The Sagrada Familia is impossible to describe. If you think you've seen cathedrals, you haven't seen anything like this.
It's part church, part sculpture, part construction site, still not done after 140 years, makes my garage projects seem speedy.
The next morning, we just strolled through one last park, got our Uber, headed for the airport, and it was adios Barcelona.
You actually used the lisp.
I did it in my, it wasn't my tongue, it was spit.
So she spit the lisp, but it still counts.
You're not putting that in there.
Time for the next chapter, Paris. Touchdown, Paris. We had to pick up our keys for the Airbnb at a convenience store. Nothing says a local experience like picking up your house keys next to a rack of baguettes.
After conquering Rome's metro, I think we felt pretty confident trying to figure out how to get around in Paris, and I think we did pretty good. We looked like experts.
Our first stop, Luxembourg Gardens, a giant royal park turned public retreat with fountains, statues, and so much to see.
That neighborhood was fancy. We got our first taste of what French real estate is. We saw a top floor apartment for 6 million euros.
That's a bargain.
Yeah.
We wandered the streets, and it was some type of youth or kid sporting event going on. We saw kids on dirt bikes, golfing, salsa dancing. It felt like Paris's version of recess.
Speaking of sports, the biggest sport of the day was trying to figure out the outdoor public toilets.
Self-cleaning public bathrooms. Convenient, but only if desperation counts as bravery. From there we walked along the Seine. It's a river, bridges, boats, buildings. Everything was picture perfect.
Our cameras worked overtime.
And scattered all over the city, pixel art. These 8-bit video game characters.
Little reminders that even in the most classic cities, somebody's still having some fun.
We wrapped up the night, wandering by the Louvre, Notre Dame, grabbing dinner, just soaking it all in.
The first night in Paris felt like the start of a dream, and it honestly just got better.
Next morning, I took a huge risk. Anniversary shopping.
They serve you champagne before they show you the prices. Coincidence? I think not.
But she found the perfect handbag, worth every euro, right?
Yes.
And then balance was restored. The car gods awarded me. A transport truck showed up, unloading a Lamborghini Storado, a Ferrari 812 Superfast, and a Bugatti Veyron.
He was in his glory.
Anniversary harmony achieved. Horsepower and handbag. Our next big adventure, the Eiffel Tower, guided access all the way to the top.
It's definitely one of the places that lives up to the hype.
The Eiffel Tower is a very interesting climb. Definitely check it out. When we got to the top, we could see the rain clouds off in the distance. Very cinematic until we realized they're headed straight for us.
Yeah. After we were done at the Eiffel Tower, we walked down to the Olympic Torch. That's also now one of Princess Diana's memorial sites because it's right beside the tunnel where she passed away.
And from there, we just kept wandering. Street performers, people filming music videos. We think we might have saw a K-drama also being filmed. Really, Paris at night is like a movie in itself.
And yes, we had to come back later just so I could see the Eiffel Tower sparkles, because that's on my bucket list.
The next morning, we toured Notre Dame. Still under restoration, but absolutely stunning. Built in the 1100s, survived wars, fires, and millions of tourists.
After that, more walking along Champs-Élysées, doing window shopping and car spotting.
I saw everything from Bentleys to, believe it or not, a C8 Corvette. A little piece of home in Paris. We saved the Louvre for last. You could spend months there.
Fun fact, it would take 100 days to see every piece if you only spent 30 seconds looking at each one.
Half a day later, we barely scratched the surface, but our legs were done.
Yeah. Our last night, we wandered back down to Eiffel Tower so we could watch the sparkles again. We were tired, but we were just in awe.
It's one of those trips where it changes how you see everything. Lesson 10, every great trip ends too soon, but the memories and the credit card bills last forever. Thursday morning, we caught our first high-speed train, something we don't have back in Canada, something we've been wanting to try for years.
Smooth, quiet, fast, up to 300 kilometers an hour, and you don't even notice it unless you look out the window.
Next stop, Brussels Midi Station. We grabbed a rental car and hit the city.
Then we ditched the car at the hotel and explored the city on foot. Best decision of the day.
We wandered around the city, past a Ferris wheel, and eventually stumbled upon one of the famous statues in Brussels, Mannequin Peace, which is a little boy bronze statue peeing into a basin.
If you don't know what that is, it's a tiny little statue that draws huge crowds, and he has over 900 outfits that they dress him up in for the holidays.
We had a little bit of free time, we had no important plans, so we focused on the important stuff, authentic Belgian waffles.
Mine was just a little more healthy. I at least had some bananas and Biscoff cream.
There was nothing healthy about mine.
No.
After a few hours of walking and burning off that last meal, I spotted something I didn't think I would see in a traffic jam, a Ford Ranger Raptor. Proof that some people in this country have an attitude. I'm still glad that we left the rental parked because driving in Brussels looked like a contact sport. The next morning, we hit the road to drive to Amsterdam. I didn't know it yet, but somewhere on this ride, I would get my first European souvenir, a speeding ticket.
Apparently, keeping pace with a Lamborghini Revolto and a Ferrari 812 GTS isn't a great legal defense.
What can I say? Peer pressure at speed is real.
We checked into our beautiful waterfront hotel, and in the parkade below, we found an F-150 of all things.
Then came our favorite part, walking. Amsterdam is made for it. Every street is near a canal, and on every street is a million bicycles.
One thing we noticed is that some of the buildings lean. Some are by accident and some are built that way. It's so that they can hoist furniture up to the top floor without hitting the facade of the building.
Next, we stopped at the National Holocaust Monument, a quiet, powerful space lined with mirrored walls and names of Dutch victims.
It's one of the places that makes you pause no matter how busy your trip has been.
Later, we passed a Porsche GT3 RS outside a fancy hotel. Valet and onlookers treating it like it was royalty. I looked it up, but rooms started around $1,000 a night. So maybe he was a footballer.
When you're in Amsterdam, you have to try their famous fries. So we got dinner on the move and we grabbed Fable Friet, I think is how it said. And they are the best fries we've ever had.
The Van Gogh Museum was special. We promised one of our daughters that we'd pay it a visit.
If you ever go to Van Gogh Museum and you walk it in chronological order, it tells his life story beautifully.
Afterwards, nightfall was upon us and it was starting to light up, as in the red light district. Something you're not supposed to film, not permitted to film, so some things are best left private.
We called it a night at a pretty reasonable hour because apparently we're classy and old.
I'll take that. So lesson 11, in Europe, drive slow enough to admire cars, but fast enough to avoid photo radar.
I have lesson 12. Waffles taste better than speeding tickets.
So the next morning, we went on a brisk walk, still in Amsterdam, and we stumbled upon a cancer awareness run. I tell you, Amsterdam is always in motion.
After a few quick stops, we made our way to the Anne Frank House, and if you ever decide you want to do that, it's something you need to book about 6 weeks in advance. It sells out very quickly. It's definitely something you might want to try out.
No filming allowed inside, but if you ever go, it's powerful. You get to see where the Frank family hid for 2 years. That was really the end of our Amsterdam experience. Then came along the rainy drive back to Brussels to catch a train to London.
I think the rainy weather was just helping us say goodbye to the mainland.
We returned the rental where it all started, got through security, and then went to customs to fulfill our VAT refund mission.
For anyone wondering what the VAT tax refund is, it's just a way to get back a portion of your tax on big purchases made in Europe.
If you follow the rules.
If you follow the rules.
Keep the receipt, keep your package, keep your patience, and you should get a refund. Ours took about a month, but we got a nice chunk of change back.
Depending where you're leaving Europe from, your experience may be a little different. Paris has kiosks and they're all automated. And Brussels, there was a guy in a shack. He stamped our papers and we had to mail them in, so it took a little longer, but it was worth it.
After that, we boarded our last high-speed train of the trip, Eurostar to London.
It was a good thing it was dark outside, so I didn't really actually know when we were underwater. But honestly, it's so smooth and so nice and so much better than flying. I wish we had those trains here.
Me too. Everything was going great. That was until we stepped outside of St. Pancras Station.
Yeah, I felt like we were back home. We were just getting smacked with wind. It was crazy.
Cold wind.
Cold wind.
Nothing wakes you up more than cold, high-speed wind slapping you in the face. Next day was game on. Rome and Paris definitely prepared us for the underground. London is the big leagues.
First stop, Buckingham Palace, and we were going to see the changing of the guard, but it ended up being parade day, so there was all kinds of things going on that day.
Yeah, we got to see more without having to pay for it. We did go inside, but filming was not allowed, which is too bad because the restrooms, I guess, set a new high-level standard.
Yeah, they were amazing. 10 out of 10 best bathrooms out of this whole trip, and they were really fancy.
After that, we walked the Mall, which is a famous red road leading away from the palace. For the Top Gear fans out there, you may remember a segment where they had it taken over by British automobiles.
London is massive. We took the underground multiple times a day. We hit up Tower of London, London Bridge, Soho, Oxford Street, British version of Broadway. We pretty much went everywhere.
It was like every block was a landmark or a Bentley. And as the night wound down, we even saw our second full-size SUV, a Cadillac Escalade.
And a Tim Hortons.
And a Tim Hortons. Go Canada. The next morning, we wandered through Notting Hill. It's movie famous. There's pastel buildings, lots of activity going on in the streets. I was mostly distracted by the cars, and there were a lot of different cars. But one that really caught my eye was an older Pontiac Trans Am that was masquerading as a Batmobile. And I respect that. We wrapped up our London tour, walking the Thames, and getting a ride on the London Eye.
That's the best way to see the city, and then you realize how much walking you've actually done.
And just like that, our London adventure was complete. Next stop, Chipping Norton. So lesson 13, Europe teaches you two things, how to pack light and how to walk a marathon. Of all the amazing things that we had done so far, today was going to check off a serious bucket list item for me, and that was driving in the UK. Driving on the right-hand side of the car, but on the left-hand side of the road.
That's a brain workout.
Hey, you over there.
Yeah, this is so weird.
I feel like you should have the steering wheel.
And it feels wrong. It feels very wrong. It feels like this is still the bigger side of the car. Do you know what I mean? It feels like that's a real small side of the car.
Yeah, it feels strange with the gas pedal. Anyway.
Is the gas pedal on there?
It's on the right still. So that's not opposite.
Oh.
It's
Yeah.
all that's the same, just moved over here.
So weird.
Are you going to be my extra set of eyes so I stay on the proper side of the road?
Yeah, I think so.
Your chair is leaning like straight up. There we go.
Okay.
Okay, let's go. But mission accomplished. I feel that I drove like a true Brit, roundabouts and all, so the next stop was the Diddley Squat Farm Shop. If you've ever watched Clarkson's Farm, it's exactly like walking into a TV episode.
And of course, I had to leave our mark.
And she may have tagged it more than once just to ensure visibility.
And in true Jeremy Clarkson fashion, his humor was everywhere, even on the cow juice machine.
We grabbed ourselves a few souvenirs and made sure to take it all in and look at those familiar sights from the TV show. But she does have one comment about the experience.
The outside bathrooms there are not quite Buckingham Palace quality.
Don't you have a little story about that? Let's share the story. I think it is a good one.
So for the women that we have to go in a stall, you would think that they would have stalls in one section and urinals in another, but you actually have to walk past the urinals that are being used to get to the stall. And they have people outside directing you and didn't let me know that there would be somebody in there at that time. So I don't know who was more embarrassed, me or the guy that was using the urinal.
Co-ed
Sorry.
experience. Next on the list was the Farmer's Dog restaurant. We found the free parking lot nearby, walked over, and felt like we were on a TV set.
I did try to get reservations at the restaurant and I was unable to. They only open their books on the 1st of every month and it sells out instantly. But I turned on my charm and was able to get us a little lunch spot. We had a 45-minute wait.
Yeah, not bad. Which is fine by me because they brew the famous Hawkstone beer and ciders right here on Clarkson's farm. For me, it was a research project.
Honestly, it was a great experience. You got to see the tractor that Hammond had made for Jeremy to hang from the ceiling, and super cozy. I think the food was great, and it was just a really nice day there.
I'd recommend it. But before leaving, we checked out the Grand Tour tent. It's now home to souvenirs and snacks, but you did feel like at any time, Jeremy, Hammond, or May could walk in with a coffee and have a chat with you.
The next morning, we took one last stroll around London, and then it was time to head home.
And I didn't realize until reviewing the footage that I really didn't film much other than cars.
That's to be expected.
I can't help it, they find me. I get teased about my behavior when it comes to car spotting, but my final kid moment was actually on the plane, playing with the electronic tintable windows.
We had an amazing 3-week trip, and my husband was more fascinated with the windows coming home.
It is important. So lesson 14 from Clarkson to cow juice, never skip a bucket list stop. So that's a super fast summary of a 3-week trip. And there's many things that we didn't weave into the story, but one of those things that I did want to highlight was what the heck is with the trash cans?
Oh yeah. Every hotel and Airbnb had these tiny little flip-top garbage cans, trash cans, that are terrible because the pedals were broke half the time, and I like to be able to just throw stuff.
She likes the 3-pointers from wherever she's sitting in the hotel room.
It's fun. We also tried to learn some basic phrases for every country that we would be in, and turns out they speak English almost everywhere. You can say thank you in every other language, and that's pretty much all you need.
My only problem is I would end up saying phrases from the country before in the country I just got to.
Yeah.
By the time I got to London, I was still speaking Italian. And for anyone driving, public service announcement, do not speed. I just got my ticket in the mail just before filming this video, and they don't mess around. I was doing 9 kilometers per hour over.
Consider that your souvenir.
Yeah, she gets a handbag, I get a ticket. So, would we go again?
In a heartbeat.
In a heartbeat. I don't think we do all the same countries. There's some that we feel we saw enough of. I think Paris, we're good. South of France, I wouldn't mind checking out, but I don't think I need to do Paris per se. We were there for 4-ish days, even though our storytelling might have made it sound like a day. Remember, it was 3 weeks, so just imagine 7 places divided up over an amount of time like that.
I think we do need to do England, even more London. It's big, so you can't do as much in a week as you can in other countries.
So we'll be out there again. So if you like the recap of our little adventure, hit that like button.
Please consider subscribing,
Thanks for coming along with us.
and we'll see you on our next adventure.
What did I say?
Filming.
Filming? Okay. Stop laughing. Then from there, we just kept wandering.
I'm sorry. I can't stop laughing.
Okay.